Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. This is the Boneheads Podcast, and it is Friday, January 12th, 2024. And we had a really interesting week this week in the world of sports. Yesterday was very interesting in the world of politics, and today is very interesting in the world of politics as well. But before we get to that, folks, with me, as always, is my wonderful co-host, Noah Snyder. Folks, here we are. Beautiful day. Now, welcome back. Today on the slate, we're going to talk playoffs. We're going to talk a crazy coaching day Wednesday and Thursday. We're going to talk the Red Sea and Asia. So, with that being said, let's kick it off here. Yes and no. As we said, Wednesday and Thursday, there was a bunch. Well, honestly, 3 coaches retired. 3 great coaches, Nick Saban, Bill Belichick, and Pete Carroll. Together, there are 918 wins, 7 Super Bowls, and 9 national championships among all 3 coaches. With that being said, as you said in the bottom there, Mike Vrabel but was released on Tuesday from the Titans head coaching job. Now, Noah, before we get into this, thoughts on all of this first, and unmute yourself, por favor. Anyways,
it's snowing.
There you go. Yes.
So that's number one. That's bullshit. Sorry guys, I had some technical difficulties with
It happens.
good reason or another. Dude, why? Why?
My theory is there was a group chat. I'm retiring. All right, I'm out too. Me too. Peace.
Retiring. Tom Brady sent me 3 heart emojis. All right, peace out. Like,
Tom was like, "Come retire in Florida."
the only thing that I can think of is, like, for some reason they were like, well, you know, we could try with our chances with somebody else because you started Ryan Tannehill too long. I don't know. Like, I have no answer for why this is happening right now.
It's weird.
It's so weird. The other thing that's weird, and I know I'm kind of jumping off of Vrabel, but like, what is a team assistant? Like, that's Pete Carroll's new position, is like team associate or some shit. It's like, what is that?
You remember when Bruce Arians retired from coaching and he was still an associate to the Buccaneers? Probably something like that.
Yeah, probably. He probably carries
like
around the fucking coffee in the assorted cheeses tray to the freaking meetings.
All right, guys, I got the good stuff for you. Yeah, coach.
Like, I don't. It's just weird to hear that Pete Carroll's going to be a freaking associate. Like, I don't know what that. I don't know what that means. Bill Belichick, as far as Bill Belichick goes, I mean, who knows? He could literally go anywhere. Like, he could honestly, this is how powerful this man is. He could literally call, like, the San Francisco 49ers, and they'd be like, yep.
We're taking them.
We're taking them. First round.
With that being said, Belichick's job was immediately replaced by Gerard Mayo.
Mm-hmm.
We still know nothing about the Seahawks job and all the other vacancies in the coaching carousel so far, but we do know that Nick Saban's job was taken by Washington head coach Kalen DeBoer. Big shoes to fill. He's going to realize that there's something about football in the South that's a way different than football in the Pacific Northwest. So you have no leeway coming to Bama, homie. I'm just giving you your fair warning now. I know you took the job knowing that, but you have.
They are known for getting rid of coaches in 1 year. Like, it's that the South does not play. Ask any LSU fan. Like, the SEC especially. Like, forget about the South. The SEC does not play at all with head coaches. Like, literally, and Coluccio will correct me if I'm wrong, but they have ousted 1 year coach. Like, he's tried 1 year, done.
Zach Arnett, Mississippi State.
Literally,
they did. Year. Like, bro, he had a year and a half to take over from Mike Leach, who died Suddenly, come on.
Suddenly, like he didn't even.
And that way you're like,
Literally
hey, by the way, coach retired or quit. We fired the guy. Here's your team. It was just like, hey, he's
He
dead.
the guy didn't even get a chance to unzip his suitcase, and they were like, "Bye, see you later."
Literally, bye. See you later. I mean, that's what happens when you only win 4 games in a year. So,
Well, yeah,
well,
that's true.
But Vrabel's firing confused me. You, Cole, and I have talked about this in the week, and I don't know what you guys covered the other night, but did this come up, or what did you guys say?
Yeah, we said the same things. Shout out to the JCPN podcast now. I've been added officially. Check them out. They got a good program over there too. Yeah, we talked about this, and not a single one of us could figure it out. I tried, dude. I really did. Like,
Yeah.
I sounded like my first day of podcasting. I was like, like, I don't have an explanation. I can't even give you what if scenario for the reason for that.
Yeah, like if you guys were watching the Rich Eisen show this week, he had Taylor Lewan on literally as it happened, and Taylor Lewan played for Tennessee his whole career as probably their Hall of Fame tackle.
Well, Taylor brought up a good point too, and he was like, "Why are you going to get rid of this man after all the stuff that he has done for this program? Like, literally, it's not okay. They didn't win a Super Bowl, but they at least went to the playoffs." And this man literally said on a live podcast that he would chop his own man part off to go to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he said, "I've been married to my wife 20 years. He's like, "Yeah, I would." Like, what?
Yeah, and this is a man of, like, if you listen to Tennessee players talk about this man or former players that he played with in New England, this is a player's man. Like, this is the player's coach. This is a guy that loves his players. Listen, you watch the Tennessee Titans defense, they have no names on that defense whatsoever, but they're top 15, top 10 in the league every year.
Ryan Tannehill was their quarterback. Like, literally, Ryan Tannehill was their quarterback, and the stuff that he was able to do with this team. That's my other.
Sorry. The only thing I can think of is the new ownership in place.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Mike, you don't fit what we want to do here. You know, we got Levis. Yeah. We don't know if Henry's staying. We traded AJ Brown away. We got rid of Julio because we can't pass for shit.
I mean, not to get too far off subject, but I really don't think Derrick Henry would stay anyway, even if Vrabel wasn't getting. But I really personally feel like now that this has happened, I don't think Derrick Henry stays now.
I don't think
he loved Mike Vrabel. I mean, Derrick loved that man. I mean, all the players that have ever played with him and he's coached
for him, yeah.
Like, so
yeah, and he's a dude's dude. Like, you could tell he's the guy. Like,
but he's no bullshit.
Yeah, he's straightforward with these guys.
That's what you need as a head coach.
Yeah, he's straightforward with these professional athletes. He's like, listen,
and he takes ownership. That's another big thing. He doesn't pass the buck off to somebody else. He takes ownership for it. Every year that they got ousted in the playoffs, he took ownership for it.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if you're the Chargers, you're going. There's a guy right there. There's two guys. There's Flores and Vrabel. Those are your two guys you're going after to coach your team. If you're the Chargers, or if you're any of these teams that literally need a coach to get you into playoffs, because the Chargers, all they need is a coach.
Yeah,
a competent guy. That's all you need.
You already got a franchise quarterback.
Literally a franchise quarterback. You have another franchise receiver, by the way, in the wings, waiting for Keenan Allen to just say, "I'm out. Bye."
Literally.
You have an outstanding defense, a mixture of young and old guys. It's insanely athletic. Austin Eckler does not seem to age whatsoever.
No, I don't know.
It's just confusing.
Yeah, it is confusing, and you know, to just touch real quick on the Chargers too. I don't know what their cap is, but I know it's decent.
Yeah.
So
because I don't think Herbert's like a big
because a lot of head coaches look at that too, is like, what's their cap room? Because as a new coach, you want to come in there and you want to set yourself up, right? Look at what Sean McDermott did. He came in, took over for Buffalo. Buffalo had the third highest cap in the NFL at that time. He comes in, and you know, we get Josh, you know, Stefan eventually, like all. So as a head coach, you're looking at what are my numbers so that I know what I have to work with.
Yeah. And not for nothing, but I mean, we kind of expected the Pete Carroll thing the last couple of years. There's been rumblings for a little bit, so we were all kind of expecting it. I think it's
to be honest with you too, Pat, and you know this as well as I do because we literally follow every sports outlet known to man, and like there's been rumblings since kind of like last year, end of last year about Bill Belichick too. So
yeah, well,
just wasn't talked about in length as it was this year.
I also think Bill didn't tell anyone except probably Robert Kraft because, listen, I want to keep these guys focused. I don't want them going, well, Bill's gone after this year, so I don't want to stay.
I am down. I don't know about you, but I'm down to watch this man like not go anywhere else and literally do a podcast with Tom Brady.
See, I would like to see these three do something where they sit there and they break down games each week, like a Manning cast.
And to see Bill actually talk, I think that would blow people's minds. Like,
I think if these people watched arguably the three greatest coaching minds of their generation just talk football and break it down, I think a lot more people would be like, Nick's the GOAT. Bill's the GOAT. Pete Carroll, if he stayed at USC probably would be in a much different place they're in now. You remember, this is the man that got Reggie Bush on the team. Yeah. He
definitely would have had, if not as many, pretty close to the numbers that Nick Saban did for like natties and stuff. I think Pete Carroll would have been real close to that.
You remember, folks, that Rose Bowl game against Texas, Pete Carroll was the coach. Matt Leinart. Oh, Carson Palmer? No, that was Leinart.
Liner.
Yeah. But Carson Palmer's a former Pete Carroll guy, like Clay Matthews.
Yeah.
I believe no. But
he had talent. He had talent.
Yeah. And
first round draft picks. He had first round draft picks.
He did pull guys away from what was at that time a really good LSU program too, which it still is. But back then that was, your blue bloods.
So speaking of first round draft picks, how about this stat for everybody? 44 first round draft picks for Nick Saban.
Yeah.
That is what? Who are you, dude?
Yeah. To combine these three guys had 85 years of coaching together.
Oh my God.
85 years, bro.
Oh my God.
They're also, I believe they're all 72, 73, and 72. I believe those are the ages of all three coaches.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hey.
Long, historic career.
I'm going to give a round of applause for you guys because you deserve it. You guys were legends.
And Bill Belichick has pissed me off the entire 24 years that he's been with the Patriots.
Hey, so he'd have 8 trophies, but the Giants decided to take care of him when it mattered most. Y'all are welcome.
When it comes to the G-men, good at messing with people's numbers. Am I right?
Oh, yeah. Especially mine. Pat, why are you going to have a heart attack today? I just watched a Giants football game for a quarter. You tell me why.
You're telling me that doesn't give you a heart attack? Because it gives me a heart attack every single week. That guy.
It gives me a bit of a chub, but, I mean.
This guy right here.
Look at that
heart
arm.
Attack.
Ah, cannon. A cannon. But, now, since we're talking about him, I got to remember everything's backwards on this stream. So, Super Wildcard Weekend.
I got it. I got it.
Oh, hey, wait, that way. Anyways, now the Super Wildcard Weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a fantastic schedule. So tomorrow, 4:30, the Browns. That's right, the Joe Flacco-led Browns take on the CJ Stroud-led Texans. And the Texans' first playoff game since, that's right, they came back and beat the Bills back in 2015? 16?
Yeah, we don't have to talk about that.
No, we don't. We're not going to. But I was just bringing it up.
Yep.
That's your first game at 4:30 on NBC tomorrow. And then the Peacock exclusive game, which we'll get into that, which I think is stupid. Just going to say that now. Dolphins at Chiefs in what's supposed to be sublime. Perfect football weather for this game.
-12.
It's going to be colder than shit.
It's cold as shit.
So I was listening to Rumble in the morning the other day going to work. It's a talk show down here in FM 99 in Norfolk. They did a sports thing, and they were talking about the Dolphins having to go play the Chiefs in Arrowhead. It's going to be 0, just the weather itself. with the 20-mile-an-hour wind gusts that are going to be coming through there. It's going to be what he said, -12, -20, maybe -30 out there in that field. So that ground's going to hurt. Them Dolphins are in for a hell of a shock. And then Sunday, Snyder's going to like this one. 1 o'clock, CBS. The Pittsburgh Steelers go to Orchard Park, New York. By the way, they're hiring shovelers, by the way, if you want to go shovel for the game.
I'm going. Me and Shelby might go.
Go shovel. They're hiring people to do it.
$20 an hour.
Yeah, for like 6 hours, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Do it.
I know.
You need some of the lines? Yes. If you're sitting next to a heater, it's so cold.
I can't feel my whips.
Has anyone seen the snowman? But that is your first game on Sunday. Your second game at 4:30 on Fox is now the NFC. Packers at the Cowboys. That one's going to be fun because Dallas can never win at home in the playoffs ever. And then your 8 o'clock game on NBC is the Rams in Detroit for the first ever home playoff game in Detroit at Ford Field.
First ever. That place
Imagine
is going to be bopping, dude.
All those playoff appearances with Matt Stafford, not a single home game. Also, funny, since we're on this game, did you see they're doing a Matt Stafford jersey ban?
I did see
game?
that.
The Lions are? That's great. That's great.
That.
Hey, Matt, thank you, but also you want a Super Bowl after you left, so kind of fuck you. And then Monday on ESPN, ABC, and ESPN Plus at 8:15 is your finale of Super Wildcard Weekend. That is the Eagles playing the Buccaneers. Now,
garbage game of the week.
Let's cover these games quick. Snyder, we know we said this last week, Joe Flacco was extremely elite come playoff time.
Yes.
Now, this is the first time these guys have been in the playoffs. Any of these guys in this, basically anyone in this team.
Except for Joe Flacco.
What's the challenge for, both of these teams going into this where no one's really been in the playoffs? Joe Flacco's got a Super Bowl to his credit.
Right.
So what's the key for this one?
Oh, man. The key?
Yeah.
Where do I start? Well, if I could think of one thing. I think for the Browns, it's to get a rhythm early and stay with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Joe Flacco is going to need to get in rhythm probably first drive.
Yeah.
Listen, not everybody's perfect. It's going to take them a minute. There's a lot of pressure. You got a lot of young guys on this team that have not been in this situation, but that's why you rely on Joe Flacco. That's where his expertise is going to come in handy for this, keeping these young guys focused in the game and on par.
Yeah.
There's going to be mistakes. Work through it. Joe Flacco, the one thing Joe Flacco is really good at is remaining calm under pressure. Prove that in the Super Bowl that he has credit for. So for me, it's going to be stay focused.
Yeah.
And keep a rhythm.
Yep.
Houston, a lot of young
guys.
I think the most important thing for them, score early.
Yeah.
Score early and hold them, right? If you can hold them to field goals, you can win this game 100%.
You got to stop
Stroud is ridiculous.
You got to stop that pass rush from.
He's hot. He's on fire. You got Myles Garrett. You got guys that they'll eat you up and spit you out.
Yeah. So if you're CJ, you gotta know we're 94, right? That's his number. Myles Garrett. You gotta know where he is at all times.
Absolutely.
Gotta know.
I'm calling Mike every single time I get on the line. Mike.
You need to double Garrett. Double him.
Something.
Because we saw what Aaron Donald and Von Miller could do in the playoffs come this time when they're the guy getting doubled.
Yeah.
So it's Myles Garrett's turn to cement himself.
No, I just think that they need to strike early and hold them.
You got to keep that Cleveland defense guessing because if they can just tee off on CJ, it's going to be a really long day for your kid.
Long day.
It's going to be a long day, and I'm a big CJ Stroud supporter.
I am too.
The kid should win Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year, 100%.
He's incredible.
Yeah,
honestly, he's incredible.
Absolutely, yeah.
The things he's done, it's like a combination of like Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, throwing off his back foot across the field, getting tackled, completes a first down for like 20 yards. I mean,
so Noah
incredible.
has the rare insight and hear all from me and our buddy Cole, who watched college like it's our day job. We actually call Josh Allen. No, we call all these guys coming out of college. We watch his quarterbacks, and he could tell you for 3 years I was not the biggest fan of CJ Stroud, and then his senior year it was like every game I was like, CJ could be good. All right, CJ is kind of good. Okay, he's good. Oh, he had a bad game. He's not that great, and then all of a sudden he just explodes. You're like,
I think if he wins this game against the Browns, there's no reason to not call him elite at that point.
yeah, like Joe Burrow, like you're having that kind of impact on your team immediately.
Yes.
And it's just the kid was out, and they still won a couple games. They were able to keep themselves alive for the playoffs. And then they get Stroud back last week, and Stroud's
they're really, I mean, if you think about it, they're really basically healthy. It's mostly the same team all year, which is extremely rare.
Yeah.
Minus a couple of key people, I think, on defense, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're mostly healthy.
I think that turf has a lot to do with it too down in Houston. I think it's treated well, and
it's a home game.
Yeah, that, and I think the Houston staff takes really good care of their players. You never really see guys getting injured like that down in there in Houston.
They have a good staff down there. They did a lot of cleaning up last year.
Yeah, J.J. Watt got hurt, but I mean, he was injury prone in college, so we weren't surprised by that.
J.J. Watt also got hurt in Arizona too before he retired. So,
but yeah, keep track of Myles Garrett. Make sure C.J. Stroud isn't getting hit a lot, and just try and keep that Browns defense
100%.
Guessing and make sure CJ is taken care of. Now, the game that I think a lot of people are tuning in for a lot of reasons. Does Buffalo get Kansas City at home?
Oh, I fucking hope so.
Or Miami? Now, Snyder, obviously the key for Miami is to just deal with this hectic crowd in Arrowhead in the playoffs in the literally frigid cold. What else does Miami have to do? And what does KC have to do besides their receivers catch footballs?
So, I mean, for one, like, I'll just be the first one to tell you that crowd at Arrowhead is ridiculous, especially in the playoffs. Now that it's been a few years back to back having to play them in their home turf in the playoffs, it's hard.
Yeah.
It is super hard to go into Arrowhead and get a win in the regular season. It's even harder in the playoffs. But I think the key to Miami's success, and a lot of people are going to probably disagree with me on this, but I'm just looking at overall, effectiveness. You gotta try to not limit yourself to just throwing to Tyreek.
Yeah.
You have to be able to move the ball around. That's the one thing that Josh Allen has been able to do here in these last few games. These last 5 games is spread the ball out everywhere he wants it.
Yeah.
Shakir, Sheffield, Diggs, Davis, Dalton, Knox. I mean,
yeah, no, you're right.
You got to spread the ball. You cannot limit yourself to just Tyreek, because what if Tyreek gets taken out?
Yeah.
He's already dealing with an ankle injury. You got to be able to spread the ball around.
Yeah. And A-Chain.
You got the best running backs in the league.
Yeah, you literally have 3 studs. Just run the ball. And also, that secondary in Miami has to play that secondary. I know they're beat up, but they gotta all they gotta do is just play their.
The secondary's got to do more this game than the Bills game, because
Tyreek
guys got injured in the Bills game.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot.
At front 4, they took some serious L's.
Yeah,
they took a couple of big losses, and they're going to have to be able to pressure, and that's the problem. And when you lose your edge rushing guys, now you're relying more on your cornerbacks and your linebackers to fill that spot.
Yeah, your safeties. Yeah, got to get exotic with it. But Mike Daniels he's learning. He's smart. This is a big test for him this weekend. But
I think so.
Yeah, that Miami secondary has to just be itself, and I think you're fine. Also, the Chiefs O-line has to be able to handle this pass rush. I don't care what.
And the receivers have to catch the ball.
Yeah. Maybe get some Clyde Edwards-Helaire going on in this game. Spread it out a little bit.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. They're going to have to really step up, though. I think this is going to be a huge test for that Kansas City wide receiver core, just being able to make the plays when it counts. I mean, we all know that Patrick Mahomes has not been playing his best football, for sure. but his receivers really haven't helped him either. And I feel like one of the downfalls is going to be if he gets frustrated early, does that affect him later on? And I think what we've seen this year is if he can stay on task in the first half of the game, he's usually pretty good to carry into the second half. If he starts getting flustered and starts throwing the ball away or starts getting hit, loses the ball. I mean, look at the game against the Broncos. It was awful.
Yeah.
It's absolutely awful. You can't do that in the playoffs. You're not
No.
gonna. It's not gonna end well.
But we know Mahomes, he won't.
Mhm.
My question is: this is about the time Andy Reid fell apart with the Eagles. Is this about the time the Chiefs fall apart? I mean, I don't see Mahomes going anywhere. Kelsey could retire. I mean,
really, yeah, he could retire this year.
because these guys don't need to play for 15 years anymore. They can play for 10 years with the offenses we have.
My personal opinion is I think if they don't make it through the first round of playoffs this year, I think Travis Kelsey definitely considers maybe hanging the hat up. Maybe one more year. Yeah. I think he's definitely got a year left.
Yeah, because him and Jason have a great thing going with their podcast, so they can just do that. Honestly,
right? Honestly, I mean, they got like every episode they got well over 2 million views.
Yeah, and look at what Edelman did with Games with Names.
Right. So, I mean, I don't think he's worried.
No.
But yeah, I don't see Patrick Mahomes going anywhere. But yeah, this could be that time where Andy Reid he's had a historic career too. I mean, he's one of the better coaches in the NFL too. So, I mean, I think this game is going to determine a lot of that. I think, but I mean, Kansas City can get it done. They got home field advantage, and it's going to be cold as shit. And Dolphins guys, they're nice. They like that Miami 60-degree weather all the time, sunny. It ain't gonna be sunny, and it ain't gonna be warm. It's gonna be cold as shit.
Nice. It's gonna be old school smash mouth
25
football.
mile an hour wind gusts. So definitely gonna talk about ball security. If they're not gonna be if they throw the ball, it's gonna be short dump passes, short screens. It's not gonna be so when you do take that shot down the field. That's why I'm saying these Kansas City wide receivers need to capitalize.
Which Miami's used to the wind because obviously Miami down there. Then you play in Buffalo, you got the wind off the lakes, and you play in MetLife, and you got Well, from there I can just say what I got to say, and it's windy off the ocean. So. Now the game that you're looking forward to, 1:00 Sunday game, CBS, Steelers at Bills. Steiner, run us through this one. Give us your breakdown of this one. Who needs to do what? I know there's a lot for the Steelers to do, but I'm more interested in what the Bills got to do.
I think one of the things that Steelers fans are definitely happy about, Micah Fitzpatrick coming back. They're getting some key guys back this week. They're still not going to have TJ Watt, but the one thing that the NFL preaches, next man up, right? So that's definitely going to be a big thing is who steps up and makes plays, right? I think the key to the Steelers is to get the Bills off their rhythm, right? If we can, same thing I said with Cleveland and Houston, score early and force Josh Allen to, be uncomfortable. I mean, any quarterback doesn't like people in their face, right? However, you're talking about a Bills offensive line that has been healthy all year long.
Until literally the Miami game.
Until the Miami game, but they're still good. They haven't lost anybody. They had a couple of guys a little banged up. Deion Dawkins, he's a dog. He's not gonna sit out in a playoff game.
Yeah, he got his finger taped up and went right back out there.
Dude, he had a gash. He probably should have needed stitches. Didn't care. Told him to tape him up and send him back out. He doesn't care.
That's what that city means to these guys, though. Like,
dude will literally play through a broken leg. You could take his leg off, and he's still gonna limp out there, right? So I think the key for the Bills is to just play the way you've been playing, right? The only thing I would like to see more is when we're down there in the red zone. Now, statistically, coming up into last week, they were red zone proficient all year. So they need to continue that. We need to score when we have the opportunity. When the defense gives you a gift, score, right? No, too many field goals being kicked. We need to score more points. These Steelers are going to look to upset us, right? This was supposed to be the year nobody thought we'd make it 5 games or even be in the playoffs. So let's prove all of them wrong. And just so everyone's aware, especially at First Things First and Get Up and all those shows that are on TV, we kept receipts. We know who said what throughout the year. That's all I'm saying. And just go into that game with a chip on your shoulder.
Yeah,
And that's how the Bills play anyway, because the Bills are always counted out every time.
Always the underdog. But that's the story of the Buffalo city of Buffalo, though. Always counted out, always the underdog.
Always. There's
always
no way
been.
the city of Buffalo can do that. I mean, we've never even hosted a Super Bowl. So how could we be a good team if we've never even had a Super Bowl? So my thing is shut up the haters. Use that to fuel your drive. And the other thing too is, just not no turnovers. Let's not have any turnovers here.
Yeah.
That's it.
But Josh doesn't have to be perfect right now. This team's winning close games finally.
And
which, like Rich Eisen said, you don't want that to happen.
They didn't listen.
Nope.
The AFC did not listen to Rich Eisenberg.
He told y'all.
He literally said when they were 6-6, he said, "Do not let this Buffalo team into the playoffs." And they didn't listen.
They won literally 6. They won.
So now Rich Eisenberg, I saw his episode the other day, and he said, "Well, I told y'all didn't want to listen. So good luck to all of you, and I really hope that you figure something out because this Bills team is not going to be stopped.
Firing on all cylinders.
They are. That's the thing. That's the thing that has not happened the last. So this is year number 4 clinching the AFC East, and the 3 years previous, that was the one thing, is that the offense was firing, but the defense wasn't. The defense was firing the offensive. This year, it's all
systems go.
Even special teams.
All systems cleared for takeoff. Speaking of all systems cleared for takeoff, we're going to jump here across the pond, over a continent, into a little area that we talked about last week called the Red Sea. Folks, if you haven't been paying attention, U.S. and UK-led coalition forces with Canada, Australia, the Netherlands, and the Kingdom of Bahrain all performed precision airstrikes on the Houthi rebels out of Yemen. These are precision airstrikes, folks. These were vetted, extremely vetted targets. One thing people forget about the U.S. and the UK is we learned a lot from Iraq and Afghanistan, so we know how to do it proficient. We had a bunch of cruise missiles sites. We also had a drone making facility too. So hopefully this keeps the attacks down in the Red Sea, but this is all in response to attacks to the Red Sea. Now, I did read that there's been a pushback from some Democrat politicians on this airstrike for some reason. And you say you watched a video today of the
Yes. The Houthi general went live today on TV, and basically, to summarize what was said, there was a lot of talk about how this stuff's not going to go unanswered, blah blah blah. But basically, what he said was that all these attacks that the U.S. and the U.K. are continuing to do is going to go punished. It is not going to go unpunished. We are going to make sure that the U.K. and the U.S. pay for what they've done. And my warning to him is to tread lightly on what you say and you do in these next few months. Because there's one thing, even in today's military, right? They've been hurting for numbers. There's not a joining rate like there was when our parents were kids. And then with us, there were still people joining the military. There's not a whole lot of people in the military anymore, and there's not a whole lot of people joining. That's why they're offering like $20,000, $30,000 sign-on bonuses. But
1% of the 1%.
The one thing that I would caution, especially countries like this, watch what you say, because it does not matter what the issues are. We have
the 2 largest air forces in the world,
technologically advanced military in the world. That's including China, that's including Russia, that's including Europe. nobody has a defense budget that we do. They don't. The next closest country is like, what is it? It's like almost $100 billion away from what we spend annually on defense. So I just, it doesn't matter who the president is, because when things like this happen, it's not up to the president. It's going to be up to Congress, and it's going to be up to the generals. And I mean, at that point, it's on you, because they're not going to hold back.
They didn't learn anything from Japan in the 40s or the 30s. Don't fuck with
they
our boats.
We literally stole the manhood from that side of the world, because
Literally,
I mean, we literally,
nuts.
you watched the phase of Shogun and samurai disappear from that country, and now it's anime and K-pop. Like, we literally stole their manhood.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, dude, like,
I also got to warn you.
Be careful.
I also got to put this warning out there. We train with our hands behind our backs. We literally
100%.
train to lose. You remember?
Oh my
we
God.
Literally train to lose every time. There's no training to win.
They would set us up for failure. Like, you guys don't understand. You guys have never served. Like, literally, and our veteran brothers and sisters, please hit this up. Comment, back us up on this. But like, our upper chain of command would literally set us up to lose every single time. And we'd come this close to winning. And it was like, we literally lost World War III. They would like crucify us, like burn us at the stake. Like, I cannot believe you guys would let that happen. Like, the situations that they give us, it's like nobody's gonna win in that. You have 30 sea targets, 20 land targets. You're getting shot from all sides, and they're expecting, like, I'm telling you, we literally, they train us in failing situations, and we still win almost every single time. So
yeah,
I'm just saying, there's no way that it's gonna happen. I mean, even on watch, all right, like when I was on 50 cal watch, like, literally set up to fail. They gave us 100 rounds.
Yeah,
like literally 100 rounds to sink targets. I don't know if any of you have ever shot a 50 cal machine gun, but you're gonna need more than 100. I mean, 100 rounds is pretty low. I can go through 100. Dude, I can go through 100 rounds in literally, like, probably 10 seconds, if that, like, with a 50 cal machine gun.
Yeah.
So, like, all I'm saying is, you play like you practice. And we practice to play, homie.
You can ask Snyder. We did a 3-hour GQ one time on the ship. I was host team lead.
3 hours, dude.
I went in for a fire, came back out. They sent host team 2 in for a fire. Like, hey, Kalucha, host team 2's dead. I'm like, bro, I just got my gear off. Like, put it back on and go up there. I'm like, thanks.
They would literally sit there and they'd be like, yeah, so all the other gun mounts are down and you're the only one left. It's like, literally, I can just hear the voice from Warships, World of Warships Legends, and you are the remaining hope.
You are last hope. Shit.
Khakis.
Action quarters. Action stations.
General quarters.
Problem solved, sir.
We're taking on water. But yeah, it's like, in all seriousness, though, it's like no other country in the world trains like the U.S. There's a reason why, like, I would say, I don't know, Pat, you could back me, like 85% of the world's nations rely on us when they do their training missions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I cannot tell you how many times we trained with Japan. We trained with,
Dutch,
Europe,
Japans,
Dutch,
Greeks, the Italians,
like all of them.
Spanish, the British, the French,
the Italians,
the Germans. We train with everyone.
They train with us, though. They train with us, though.
Yeah, they come to us to train. Or when we're over there, they still come to us to train.
RimPack is a thing.
Korea, Australia.
And RimPack is the top of
biggest,
the top of
it's
the
like
top.
The biggest military
exercise in the world. Do you know who hosts that every year?
America.
The United States.
Land of the free.
The United States of America holds that every single year.
Yeah.
So That should tell you what you need to know.
It does. Also, folks, I jumped the gun by 3 games on the wild card stuff, so we're gonna go back to that. I knew his way looked at me weird.
Well, because I was like, all right, well, I guess he just cares about the AFC, which is fine. I mean,
Which I
that's
mean,
the best conference in football anyway, so it doesn't.
I don't really care about the NFC side anyway. So,
Yeah,
but we're gonna go back to that here.
Because
sorry,
everyone knows
folks.
that the AFC has held the title for however many years now for winning the Super Bowl. So I'm just saying,
Yeah, a couple.
most Super Bowl wins in a conference is the AFC. Just saying.
So your 4:30 game on Fox is the Packers at Cowboys. Sorry, folks, we're gonna jump around here. I'm messing up today.
Pat really screwed the pooch on this one.
I did. We can recover the Red Sea for you folks if you really want.
I mean, I thought so when you had said.
Speaking of firing on cylinders,
yes, when you had said that, and then you were like, speaking of launching rockets, I thought you were going to go to Dallas, and I was like, that's a perfect way to like move to the next part.
Well, speaking of training to fail, the Packers are here somehow, and the Cowboys are going to fail in the playoffs anyways. There's your transition.
There's your transition that the Dallas Cowboys are going to choke yet again in a home playoff game.
Packers were supposed to be here with Jordan Love in his first year as starting quarterback. He figured it out.
No way.
Dallas is going to choke it in the playoffs anyways. Snyder, who wins this game and why? I think I know your answer is, but who wins it?
I mean, look, Green Bay was not supposed to be here either. I mean, the Bills were counted out. Green Bay was counted out. Nobody expected Jordan Love. Everyone was questioning him coming into this year. He's not legit. He's not made for this, blah, 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 blah. And he actually has one of the highest completion percentages in the NFL. So in the other podcast I was on, I said for a rookie, but I said he's not technically a rookie, but he's technically a rookie because it's his first start, right?
First full season,
this is his first full season as a starter. So I'm saying as a rookie in that aspect.
Yes.
Just so everyone understands what I'm saying. And he's already in the playoffs. And he's in the playoffs against the Dallas Cowboys. So for me, the key is for that young man to just stay poised. Dude, this is no different of a game than any game you've ever played. Okay, so you're at a different stadium. That's what you do every year. You go to different teams to play. So just play.
Yeah.
That's all he's got to do. Just play. Complete. You got young receivers that are really stepping up. And, I might even dare to say without trying to throw too much shade, but like I guarantee you Patrick Mahomes wishes that he had young receivers playing like this right now. So that's all I'm saying. Just you guys got this. It's no different. It's no different of a game than during the regular season. Now, for the Dallas Cowboys, you just got to complete your game plan. You guys come in every year with a game plan. This is what we're going to do. And then it's like by the second half, you guys just totally give up on that shit. It's like stay where you want to be. Dak Prescott he's setting the world on fire this year.
Yeah.
This man is going on a tear. He is out to prove every single person wrong.
He's more poised in the pocket. He's making better throws.
I'm saying this team has the advantage of the fact that there's veteran guys on this team.
Yeah.
Micah Parsons is a dog. CeeDee Lamb is doing things that nobody said he was going to do. Everyone counted him out this year. They said he was doing terrible. They said he was underperforming. Now look at him. So just continue doing what you're doing, man. I mean, it's just like what I said about Green Bay. This is no different game than playing a regular season game.
Yeah.
Just play your game, man. Dak Prescott, as long as he's making completions and throwing down the field, you guys are in a dome, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about the weather. You don't have to worry about the wind. You don't have to worry about none of that shit. Just throw the ball. Deep balls to CeeDee Lamb. You'll win the freaking game.
Yep. So before I move on from this game, the Cowboys' overall record against the Packers is 21-17. But both teams have beaten each other 4 times in the playoffs when they've met.
Yes.
So they're 4-4 out of 8 meetings, and then Packers.
This will be the deciding factor.
Yeah, this is the rubber match. So now we'll move on to the 8:00 game on NBC. The one that probably everyone's looking forward to, honestly, is the Rams-Lions game. Matthew Stafford traded from the Lions a couple years ago to go to LA, goes to LA, wins Super Bowl. Now the quarterback that was traded for Stafford is now the quarterback of the Lions, leading the Lions to their first home playoff game in Ford Field. this is big. For those who don't know, like I said earlier, JCP podcast, End Zone Perspective podcast, the other podcast we do or help with do. Pizza, one of the hosts, was calling Jared Goff the MVP from literally the beginning of the season. Jared Goff has played like Super Bowl Jared Goff all year, and I think he's really. I mean, you can ask Snyder. I've been a very big Jared Goff supporter. I've been like, guys, remember he went Super Bowl with a broken pinky. He's literally played almost his whole career in LA with a broken finger.
This is the same guy that's a huge Justin Herbert fan, but we won't get into that. But I'm just saying.
Herbert's pretty good.
So, and Pat has a pretty good eye for quarterbacks,
but
aka Josh Allen.
But the Lions have to respect that Rams offense.
Absolutely.
Because that Rams offense is sneaky. They'll lull you to sleep. That's how they won 10 games this year. They just lull you to sleep. They don't beat the brakes off you. It's like old school football. They're just gonna go out there. They're gonna wear you down slowly. Then you think you got them.
The Ravens.
They're
like
gone.
the freaking Ravens.
Yeah.
They're literally like the Ravens.
But
yeah, man. I mean, I think if you're Detroit, dude, use the home field advantage to your advantage.
Yeah, you have to.
I mean, you're going to be talking about a Ford Field that's going to probably
rocking.
If they win, they're probably going to take the field goal post down. For God's sakes, I mean,
so I have a crazy off the wall, out of nowhere question for you.
Okay, great.
If Matthew Stafford loses this game in Detroit, does he retire?
Oh, that's a good question.
You are a Detroit boy. You left, and now you are Detroit's first playoff win. Right there, it's storybook. You know,
I have to go.
The life cycle has come full circle.
Yeah. It's a circle of life, and it's come around.
Start, struggle, couple playoffs. Start, struggle. Wait, I go this way. More playoffs. struggle. LA, Super Bowl.
I had Megatron
injured.
Then I had Megatron. Then I didn't.
Back to Detroit.
Then I left. Then I got traded. Now I'm back. Yeah. No. I that's a good question. No, I think I would leave.
Yeah, I would. I'd be like, listen. I get the mic. Be like, listen, Detroit,
man,
I'm retiring. I love y'all. I'm out.
I've never been in the news. I've never been in the news for anything bad, so I'm definitely going to be a sports commentator after I get out of here. I'm going to go sit alongside Tony Romo.
Don't do this to me.
Yeah.
Don't do that to me, man.
I'm calling it now. CBS.
Don't do that to me.
Tony
the new
Romo,
Fox guy, the Troy Aikman. New Troy Aikman doesn't give a shit.
Tony Romo.
Oh man, I'd love that. Oh god, that'd be so good. Yeah, they're gonna win a bubble. They're gonna bubble zone here. You're gonna watch 2 linebackers come out the A slot here.
So you said something interesting. So you said Detroit definitely should not count out this Rams offense, right? And I totally agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the other half of this though. Rams need to take that Detroit defense very seriously. Very serious. They
very young
will make you look silly.
Rinse cycle.
Pick sixes like you've never seen in your life.
And people are forgetting this is an extremely young edge pressure, like
extremely
edge presence. They get Hutchinson, Campbell. There's more. I can name more if you want me to, folks.
I mean, it's
all I gotta say is Campbell, Hutchinson.
The only thing that I'm worried about with Detroit, and I don't think it's been talked about a whole lot, but I think the only thing that concerns me is Sam Laporta. That was a big loss. That was a huge loss.
Yeah.
Losing Sam Laporta was probably one of the biggest losses this team has had all year.
Yeah, and that was their young tight end.
For me, if I'm Detroit, next man up, which those are huge shoes to fill for this team.
Yeah.
But the one thing that Detroit has that they haven't had, which is why I believe that they're here right now, is the run game. They have a strong run game. They just have to get that run game going.
Yeah.
That's the thing that has slowed them down in a few of these games that we've seen towards the end of the year, is like they just struggled to get that run game going. Now their team as a whole made up for it with passing and the defense and everything else like that. But like I said, Sam Laporta being out, that's a big weapon that you've now taken away.
Yep.
They're going to be on Amon-Ra St. Brown. They're going to be covering, probably double covering him at some point. So my thing is, let's utilize this run game. If they're going to lull us to sleep, we're going to lull them to sleep.
You have the backs to do it.
That's what's important is does Detroit get this run game going early and stick with it?
Yeah.
That's going to be huge. Same thing with the Rams. Can the
Yeah.
Rams get this defense on its heels? They're young. There's going to be a lot of, this is huge. So, that atmosphere is going to be nuts. There's going to be, they're going to be hyped up. They're going to be, nervous, whatever. So if I'm the Rams, I'm using that to my advantage. We got veteran guys on this team that are used to being in these situations. You got a quarterback like Matt Stafford that is literally Mr. Cucumber, calm as a cucumber through the whole thing. The man never shows emotion.
Never.
Literally throws a touchdown pass with a dislocated shoulder. I
Well,
mean,
yeah.
like it's Matt Stafford, dude.
And
he's literally Mr. Unbreakable. So I'm just saying, use that shit to your advantage.
And also, you can't count out how accurate Jared Goff is in the playoffs. Remember, he was him and Aaron Donald were literally the only bright spot in that Patriots Super Bowl loss.
They're the only
two that were worth a damn that whole game.
Yeah.
He might have thrown for 200 yards, but I mean, the Patriots defense was everywhere.
Everywhere.
But on to the last game, the Monday night game, the 8:15 game on ESPN and ABC. A game a lot of people are going to be looking at for probably the wrong reasons. The Eagles traveled to Tampa.
I don't know
for
how.
A playoff game. Well, what happens when you only win one of your last 6 games.
Well, this is what happens when you go and you get a hard-fought victory, and it was a nail-biter victory over the Bills, because ever since they beat the Bills this year, 10-1, by the way, they were 10-1 going after that game.
Mm-hmm.
They finish 11-6. What?
Yeah.
How?
It's just been bad.
Yeah, that's my thing. So the reason, and I'm not trying to discredit either one of these teams.
Yeah.
The reason I'm saying it's the garbage game of the week is Tampa wins 9-0 against a team that literally is the worst in the NFL. They are the new Browns. Okay. And you won by 9. 3 field goals. That's how you won that game, was 3 field goals. And Baker Mayfield is hot right now. He's on fire. He's playing with that energy that Pat was looking for to see in Cleveland and never saw take off, because he struggled with a team that really didn't have a whole lot to offer him. Head coach wasn't right. Wide receivers weren't. I mean, he had some wide receivers, but there was just a lot of
when you try to force the ball to one spot. Yeah.
Well, yeah. And there was a lot of shit going on outside of the NFL with those guys. But really? 9-0 against a team that's shit.
Well,
and
remember,
then you got the Eagles, and it's Jalen Hurts doesn't know how to play football again. This happened last year. It's dude, what are you doing, man?
Mm-hmm.
Get your shit together. So I don't know who to take in this one, honestly. It's going to depend on. This is the kind of game that you're gonna have to watch it to really determine who's gonna win. But if I had to make a guess, I don't know. I'm gonna say the Eagles. The only reason I say that is because there's no reason why they shouldn't. With the talent that they have, the run game that they have, there's no reason why the Eagles should lose. But it's the Eagles, and that head coach of theirs is a shit talker, and then he ends up getting the shit blasted right back in his face again.
Nick Sirianni.
So, I mean, it's just going to depend on what their attitude is. If they come in there and they want to shut people up, then yeah, they're going to win. But if they think they're going to come in here and just run all over Tampa, it's not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
You got, dude.
Antoine Winfield's arguably one of the best secondary guys in all of football.
Godwin.
Mike Evans.
These are not just some rookie wide receivers, dude.
Mike Evans is going down as one of the greatest
Baker Mayfield
all time.
knows how to use them. That's the key. This is the thing that they've been missing. Yes, they had Tom Brady as a quarterback for a while, but Baker Mayfield knows how to use these guys, just like Tom Brady did. And look at how successful they were with Tom Brady. Just
And
saying.
back to your Buccaneers 9-0 thing against the Panthers. That's how the Steelers used to beat the Browns all the time last game of the year. So
Literally.
that doesn't scare me. Listen, Baker threw for 4,000 yards this year. He only had 10 interceptions. Yeah, he only threw for 28 tutties, but
that's still good.
Who cares when you're taking care of the football? Like, there was a point midway through the season, people were like, Baker Mayfield's not the answer in Tampa. Excuse me, what?
Yeah, what?
Give this kid a chance.
That's the thing,
this
though.
kid has legitimately never had
never had a chance
by the media. Colin Cowherd and I think Rich Eisen are the only two guys. Listen, Cowherd has changed his tone on Baker Mayfield. Him and Baker do not like each other at all. And Colin's changed his tone. You can agree with this. And Rich Eisen's been like, I don't know why people hate this kid. He goes out, he plays the game. Yeah, he's a little emotional,
I listen to Rich Eisenberg a lot more than I find myself listening to anyone else, because the man does not talk about. Can we talk about how Josh Allen, among the greats, has the least amount of turnovers out of you? Do you know that Peyton Manning in his first 6 seasons has more interceptions than Josh Allen? He's 110.
Oh wow. I actually
Josh Allen has 73. He is the lowest out of Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, and
Big Ben?
Someone else. I don't know if maybe Big Ben. Like, why? And Rich Eisenberg asks the question all the time, why do you guys hate on Josh Allen so much? And it's the same thing for Baker Mayfield. Why do you guys give this guy no credit? Like,
yeah.
The one thing that aggravates the shit out of me with people is like, you have no idea what it's like to be a quarterback in the NFL. Zero idea at all. That's like that First Thing First show pisses me off.
Is that the one with Joy Taylor on it?
Yeah.
And Sebastian Acho?
Yeah.
I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sebastian Ocho. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of his. But
they spit shit out of their mouth that doesn't make any sense. And it's, and like, what's his name was saying on that show, like, well, the only reason that this team's here is it's not because of Josh Allen. What do you mean it's not because of Josh? It's literally the only reason, besides the freaking James Cook. So, not to get off track of talking about the Bills right now, but I'm just saying, like, these guys need to stop giving so much hate towards these quarterbacks, because I don't see you guys out there playing. So
getting hit by 300-pound men because they want to kill you.
It hurts, man. It's like getting hit with a Mack truck.
Especially getting hit by dudes like Vita Vea, Myles Garrett, Aaron Donald,
Micah Parsons,
Jordan.
Basically,
Oliver, the whole Eagles front line.
Ed Oliver, AJ Epinesa. I mean, the list.
Fletcher Cox. I mean, we can keep naming people.
I don't know about you, but like Fletcher Cox is not a nice man, and I really don't feel like having him in my. He
makes me look small. You know that, right?
He also makes you look like a well-dressed, well-educated gentleman too, because the man literally hates everyone that's not on his team.
Yeah, but you can when you're that big and
no shit. When you take up like literally an entire room, because you're just solid fucking muscle.
Yeah, he looks like the one guy from that O line. I was like, I just want to play defense, man. I just want to play defense. I just want to hit the guys.
Right.
But now that we're done with football, we're gonna go back to politics. Election year 2024. We're talking about this last episode. This kind of leads into a couple big things. Now, based on what's going on in the Red Sea and what's about to happen in Taiwan, I'm going to put this: 19.5 million Taiwanese are voting to elect a new president and a legislature this week. Now, the Chinese military has promised to crush any efforts to promote Taiwan's independence a day before the election. This is big. This election here and our election this year really sets the tone for what the world's going to look like. I think this one has more of an impact on what the Pacific's about to look like really, really soon.
I mean, if you go on CNN right now, they literally say, in quotes, choice between peace and war. Why the 2024 presidential election matters.
Yeah, this is big. Folks, I don't think you guys understand what this means. So the party that's the Democratic Progressive Party, I believe, is DPP. That's the thing in charge in Taiwan. They're all about Taiwan's independence. That's what the CCP is trying to get rid of. Are these countries thinking independently for themselves and thinking of their best interests instead of going, hey, Mother China, why don't we just come back to our homeland and you give us all the good stuff?
Right. Well, that's the thing though, is that China's slowly trying to swallow up all these small independent countries because, what's the one thing that Taiwan provides to the US? Well, they're one of the most important importers into this country in almost the entire world besides Japan. They export more goods to America than America imports to itself. So if Taiwan becomes affected by the CCP bullshit, now it's affecting us because prices on everything are already through the roof. You imagine if Taiwan gets taken by China, well, you just can kiss goodbye $24.99 for a T-shirt because now it's like $69.99.
Well, no, child labor is still the same cost no matter where you go.
Well, child labor. But what I'm saying is,
you can build bamboo houses for free.
It's going to impact a lot more shit than people think.
Yeah,
and it's important that these people vote on the person that's going to get them out of this shit. They need somebody that's willing to work with other nations. See, that's been the biggest problem with these countries is they've been independent for so many years that it's affected their ability to be able to mark negotiations with other countries, especially countries like America, Europe, other countries in Asia. And when you limit yourself to just yourself, you cause more issues. I think it's important that these people realize that they're literally voting to keep themselves from dying. Literally, because the CCP is on a tear right now.
Yeah. And then also to add to all the tensions in the world, Ukrainian President of Volodymyr Zelensky and British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak on Friday signed a peace accord between a security accord, between both countries. This is also an unprecedented security agreement before Ukraine probably inevitably joins NATO, which we don't know what can happen, but we all know Putin's been actually fairly quiet on the radio lately.
Fairly quiet.
But there's a lot. This election over here in Taiwan's important. Anything that happens in the Middle East now is extremely important now. And what happens with this Ukraine NATO thing?
I think that's why all the other shit going on is why the United States election is very important too, because listen, because I'm not trying to get in a bad way with any group politically. All I'm saying is whether it's Trump, whether it's someone else, doesn't matter. But if we're going to talk about effectiveness of a president in this day and age right now and everything going on, we need someone strong who has foreign diplomacy to a science. We need somebody strong that knows how to talk and get what they want from these other countries. Because if they notice that you're weak, these other countries will take you for everything that you got. So it's important that we elect somebody who's strong and not some weak, frail asshole that's just going to let these guys push them around and tell them what's going to happen.
Hence the title on the bottom there, #NotNikki. We don't want Nikki Haley in because she doesn't even know where she wants to send people in Ukraine. So why would you want to send us to Ukraine? You're going to put us in a war?
Yeah.
No, bitch. Get the fuck out of here. Last thing we want to do is go fight Russians.
No more war. Done with that shit.
We're not fighting four fronts. I'm sorry.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it anymore. In today's day and age, it's just time that all these countries just leave each other alone. Just stick with your own shit.
Yeah.
Listen, you guys have tried communism for well over 40 years. This shit doesn't work. I mean, I don't know how much more you need to be told.
The only reason it works in China is because they can literally track your every move. Yeah.
They literally now they have cameras that
everywhere
literally track you, and if you jaywalk, they will literally take your facial identification and they will take your phone. Like they will come to your house and they will take your shit.
You can see the camera. Well, I'll put my camera up anyways. So in the CCP in China, there is an app where you can keep track of your citizen score. When you get that ticket for jaywalking, it affects your citizen score, which affects things you can do, so on and so forth.
And I'm pretty sure that Netflix came out with a series called Black Mirror that talked about this. And now look, there's a whole ass country doing this shit.
I'm convinced Netflix has just been telling us how things are going to happen. No one's just been paying attention.
I'm convinced that Netflix is the new Simpsons, and they're just telling us how everything's happening.
I mean, Family Guy called the Jenner thing. I'm just going to say it.
Yeah.
Family Guy did call the Jenner thing in season 8. Stewie hit him with the joke with the joke of Bruce is Caitlin. Come on, Bruce is a girl. Come on.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the Simpsons have called a lot of shit too.
Oh yeah, they have. I'm pretty sure the guys that write that though are time travelers.
But yeah, I mean, it's scary to think about, and that's why I'm saying like these elections this year, they're gonna decide the state of the world. Really.
Yeah, this is important. Remember, folks, you want to vote for someone that's not going to get us killed, and also
just vote. Like that's the most important thing. Yeah. Just vote. Like voting in itself is important. Mm-hmm. You can make a whole podcast episode about why it's important to vote.
Yeah, because if you don't vote, then don't bitch about the presidents.
That's
don't bitch
the
about
thing.
The political shit.
That's the thing is that, and it happens every year, and it's like, dude, you didn't vote. You can't be pissed off when this asshole makes our groceries go up to fucking $300 for 10 things.
Bro, I went to the grocery store today to get the smaller squirt bottles of ketchup and mayo. It's $3.25 for a small thing of mayo and ketchup each.
It's
I'm not spending $6.50 on fucking ketchup and mayo. If I wanted to do that, I'd buy the big bottles.
I'm with you on that shit, dude.
Bro, shit pissed me off, man.
We went to Walmart and we filled up the cart, which I was shocked. Walmart was like $181, which
it's just that much cheaper.
It's just that much cheaper. Here's the fucking kicker, though. We went to Aldi's before that and probably spent like another $30. So I mean, basically, you're spending $200 a fucking week if you're buying the essentials. If you're buying like paper towels that ran out, fucking paper plates. If you add anything extra like meat or fucking anything else, you're basically over like $250.
Yeah, and you need to eat meat to survive.
Yeah.
So also, oh no, go ahead, finish your thing.
Not vegetables. Vegetables aren't going to help you live. I mean, they will, but not. That's all.
A healthier life, but yeah, you can't just live off vegetables. You need protein, you need carbs, you need all that fun stuff to keep you motivated and going.
Is not the answer. That's all I'm going to say.
Agreed. Also, I do want to talk to you about this. The protests going on in Europe with the farmers, France and Germany. Both French and German farmers are protesting in their capital cities, spreading shit literally everywhere.
Yes, I've seen that. It's on TikTok.
It's going everywhere. This is huge. Well, they can't live. They can't make money off of anything, and this is what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
So y'all need to pay attention to the world because this little shell we live in.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think the difference over here is like, I do not wish to see the outcome of you people thinking that it's a good idea to go set up a bunch of fucking tents in a farmer's field in America, especially in Texas. And the only reason I say that is because I have an uncle in Texas that has a cattle ranch, and he's a crazy fucking guy. And I really don't want to see what's going to happen if you idiots decide that this is a good idea. This is something we want to join and decide to set up tents in the middle of a fucking cattle ranch in Texas. That's all I'm saying. Probably not the smartest idea, because I don't know if you guys have seen them, but longhorns are fucking huge.
Big.
So I'm just saying, if I was a cattle rancher in Texas, I'm just gonna let the whole fucking herd run you over.
Hell, get the hogs out. Let the hogs do their thing.
Those are even worse, especially if they're hungry. Starve them first, then let them go.
Yeah. Put them in a pen. Don't feed them for a couple days. Let them have
bunch of angry fucking hungry pigs. Yeah, I'm good.
Breaking news: the U.S. and coalition forces have started a second night of bombing in Yemen. So there's that. Also, Israel just bombed the shit out of Deir el Bala in Gaza. So it's picking up. Business is booming. as we would say.
Business has been booming for a while.
Warheads are definitely getting put in foreheads. Professional landscapers are at it again.
Hey, what can I say except you're welcome? I was an Orty guy. I didn't build the bombs, but we're psychotic.
If you ain't ordnance, you ain't shit.
If you ain't ordnance, you ain't shit. I'm just saying we're psychotic.
Yeah, they are.
So
yeah, try go partying with them.
I don't know. You might not remember your name except for Coluccio. He seemed to remember his name. Yeah, who's Pat?
I don't know. Some guy. But yeah, no, folks, we highly encourage you to break out of your little shells and pay attention to the world because 2024,
especially right now.
Yeah.
Right now, 2024 is the most important year. They've already established that. They established that at the end of last year. The end of 2023, they said 2024 is going to be the most important year of our lives. I just encourage everybody. It doesn't, it's no more about who's on what side anymore. And I've seen a lot of videos on TikTok, and it just pisses me off to no end. Like, it does not matter who you stand for anymore. We need to come together.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. Like, we need to start putting agendas aside. We need to start putting race aside. We need to start
put
putting
this country
all that
first.
shit aside and focus on here. No, done sending shit to everybody else. Because every time we send shit to people, we never get anything back.
Nope.
Never. So I'm just saying.
Well, you can thank Democrats for us being 70% of NATO's
100%.
budget.
The other part of it too is, and I was thinking about this today before we were doing this podcast, it's like the Republicans left us up Schitt's Creek without a fucking paddle or a boat. Like, where the fuck were you guys in 2020, in 2021, in 2022? Like 3 years, you just fucking, oh, peace, I'm out. Finger popping.
Yeah, that's what they were doing.
So it's like, everybody needs to come together and realize that these guys do not have any of our interests in mind, and we need to make this shit happen. 2024 is the year that we take back our government and we start making our government work for us.
Yeah. This is supposed to be ran like a people's republic. It's just being ran like not
well, yeah, because we've allowed political parties to get way too big, and they're way too big, and they're financed by major corporations and mega billionaires that have more money than fucking all of us put together.
They're funded by BlackRock and the deep state.
And Vanguard. Don't forget about Vanguard.
Yeah. Vanguard, BlackRock, and the deep state. Those are your three financiers. Time back in.
Literally.
But vote America. Don't vote foreign interests. Fuck social issues this election. America needs to get back to America.
We're all Americans.
The pipeline needs to get built between Canada and America so gas prices go down. Self-sufficiency is going to save this country. Look what China did with isolation. It helped them.
Right.
We pulled out of Afghanistan for a reason, just to get back into the Ukraine bullshit, the Israel bullshit, and probably this Taiwan bullshit.
Listen, I'm all for trying to be a cleaner environment, trying to be a cleaner country. I'm cool with that. Totally cool with that. Where I have a problem is these idiots thinking that you can solely rely on electricity for everything. Listen, electricity was meant to be used by certain quantities of things. You still need to offset the amount of usage of electricity with gas, with propane, with other shit. Coal burning is one of the most efficient ways to make electricity. And if you really think that a fucking solar panel is going to get you the same amount of electricity than a coal burning factory, you're a fucking idiot.
I would say nuclear, but meltdowns are bad.
I mean, yeah, but nuclear,
it's clean energy, but
it's still
meltdown. The risk is so much.
Well, yeah, I'm not
so much worse than anything else.
Listen, we are not saying that we need to start building a bunch of nuclear power stations, okay? Because no, but there's nothing wrong with building a few more.
Yeah,
just not like a gazillion of them.
Just don't open 3 Mile Island again, please.
Yeah, oh my god, I would literally.
That was almost our Chernobyl.
I don't know what the fuck I would do. I'd probably fucking, I don't know. I'd probably try to find a way to get a fucking ticket to Mars. They open up 3 Mile Island again, I'm out. Peace out.
I'm gone.
I'm moving to Spain.
Oh, bet. Bet I'll be there.
Oh, I fucking know that.
But is that all you got for today for these good, fine, beautiful folks?
That's all I got for these wonderful people.
Well, I got nothing. So, ladies and gentlemen, as always, that's Noah Snyder. I'm Patrick Coluccio.
That's Patrick Coluccio.
This has been the Boneheads Podcast. We will see y'all next week. Thank y'all for coming out. Hopefully, y'all enjoy this. We are on Spotify. I'm working on getting the YouTube channel up. YouTube's giving me a hard time. Videos
usual.
will be posted to our Facebook within this weekend. So follow us on Facebook. Find us on Spotify.
And go
Boneheads Podcast.
Go Bills.
Go Bills. Hopefully your team has a great weekend. Also, Kalen DeBoer is the head coach in Alabama now. So, ladies and gentlemen, hope you have a great Super Wildcard Weekend. Stay safe, stay frosty, and more importantly, don't do anything your boneheads
Stay
would do.
classy, San Diego.
I'm Patrick Colucci. That's No Cider. This has been the Boneheads Podcast. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a beautiful, wonderful weekend.